I just want to take a moment to thank God for putting me on this planet at the same time as The Weeknd. This man actually did it. The Weeknd just released his long-awaited album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which feels like we've been waiting forever for it to be released. If you've watched one of my videos before, you know I am a huge fan of The Weeknd. I have purchased every single album this man has ever put out in his career. I pre-ordered a physical copy of Hurry Up Tomorrow, and Amazon literally just delivered it, but they put it in my storage locker instead of my front door, which is really annoying, but the collection is complete. My hype for this album has kind of been all over the place. Like a few months ago when he had that concert in Brazil, my hype was at a 10, and then I feel like the marketing for this album wasn't really done that well, so my hype started to drop a little bit, and then he delayed the album understandably because of the LA fires, and for some reason I just had this thought in the back of my head, like, what if he doesn't deliver? I'm gonna just go ahead and spoil the rest of this review for you. I love this album. This album is still fresh. I've obviously only had the chance to sit with this album for a few days now. I've listened to this in its entirety maybe 6 times at this point, but even based off of my first listen, I don't think I've loved a Weeknd project this much off only one listen since maybe House of Balloons. If this is truly the end of his character, The Weeknd, this was the perfect ending, and this album was so good. We're gonna have a lot of controversial conversations at some point, or at least I'm gonna be the messy person that starts them. I don't want to hear anything about Chris Brown or Frank Ocean ever again. I've been saying that for years. To me, that race has been over, but after this album, put a nail in that coffin. Michael Jackson, I'm just saying. But look, let's just go ahead and talk about this album because I'm about to glaze the hell out this man. Most of this review is going to be me praising The Weeknd and praising this album, so let me go ahead and get some of my criticisms out the way. All right, everybody, bow your head. Let's have a moment of silence for Dancing in the Flame. I don't know what the hell happened with that song. I'm still really surprised that he just completely took that song off of this album. Like, did that flop that bad? Like, I was hoping to listen to this in the sequence of the album and maybe it might grow on me. Like, Take My Breath Away on Dawn FM. I wasn't a fan of that song when I first heard it, but listening to that in the sequence of the album, today I love that song. With this, I guess we'll never know. The first criticism that I have for this album is that I was hoping that he also took Timeless and Sau Paulo. I'm probably saying that completely wrong, ignorant Americano, but I was hoping that he took both of those songs off this album as well because I don't like them. For Timeless, I like The Weeknd on it, but for anyone that knows me, they know that I think Playboi Carti is terrible, and I hate that they're going on tour together. If Carti even shows up, like on that song with Anita, I feel like that would be a great song to hear in a live setting. Like when I first heard that at that Brazil concert, I thought it sounded great, I loved it, but once they actually released it, wasn't really a big fan of it. But yesterday I did translate for the first time what Anita was saying in English. I love that woman. I will let Anita do absolutely whatever. But I don't really have that many complaints about this album, and I'm not one of those Weeknd fans that I just love everything he does. Like, he has multiple songs over his career that I don't like, but if I had to pick the only song on this album that I don't like, I keep skipping Give Me Mercy. I don't like that song. When I first sat down with this album, the first thing that I noticed and I was about to complain about was the runtime. I believe this is his longest runtime of any of his albums. I believe this is an hour and 25 minutes. But once you actually sit down with this, it runs pretty quickly. But that's really the only complaints that I have for this album. And I know I'm about to say the name wrong, but Sau Paulo, however you pronounce it, for me, that's a skip. Timeless, that's a skip. Give Me Mercy, that's a skip. And if you take off any of the skits, the interludes, whatever you want to call them, the track list for this album is like 19 songs. So for me, The Weeknd shot 16 for 19 on this. And now it's time to glaze. Track 1, Wake Me Up. I've been waiting for this since his concert in Brazil. The visuals that he had for this song was insane. That first half of this song, that's the Weeknd I like. That's that classic old school dark Weeknd right there. And then with that beat switch, I've seen people online saying that it's Thriller, that it's not Thriller. I don't care. It kind of sounds like Thriller. I'm sure that's what he was going for. Great opening track. Track 2, Cry For Me, I thought was okay. I enjoyed the second half of the song more than the first half, you know, when that bass really kicked in towards the end. Like, all the production on this entire album is incredible. I believe that Mike Dean played a big part in all the production for this. He is a legend. He is amazing. Baptized in Fear. This is one of my favorite songs. Again, this is that Weeknd that I like. I like that dark, moody, depressed Weeknd. This is right up my alley. But throughout this album, he got really personal and really deep. Like, it was a lot of references to his family, a lot of references to God, heaven, death. Like even on this song, I believe he said he's trying to remember what his preacher said. This man was talking about drowning in his bathtub with a shadow figure laughing at him. This man is singing. This man is pouring his heart out, and I'm just in the crib lit. The Weeknd has always been really good with the transitions on his album, and the end of this song transitions directly into the next track, Open Hearts, and God, I love this song. At this point in the album, this man starts to go on a crazy run. This man goes from Open Hearts to Reflections Laughing to Enjoy the Show to Give Up on Me to I Can't Wait to Get There. This part of the album is crazy. I don't know if this is a controversial take, but on Reflections Laughing, I kind of wish that Travis Scott wasn't on this song. Like every time I get to his part, I just skip it, but maybe it'll grow on me. Enjoy the Show, we get Soul Sample Weeknd, which I feel like we might have never gotten before, or at least we don't get often. This song has Future on it. I love Future. I am a proud member of the Future Hive. I don't think the Weeknd and Future has ever made a bad song together. Like if you compiled and you made an EP of all of their collaborations together, classic. I could go through track for track and tell you what I like, what I don't like, but honestly, I'm gonna just end up sounding like a broken record. I love this album. I feel like these reviews work better when it's kind of balanced, when I have things to criticize and also praise, not just when it's lopsided. But looking at this track list, I enjoy almost every song. Take Me Back to LA might be my favorite song on this entire album. That last song, Hurry Up Tomorrow, like don't get me wrong, I love those songs where the Weeknd is bragging and talking and shit. But it's just something about those songs where he's opening up and he's vulnerable. I've seen a lot of people highlighting online the part of the song where he says that he's been trying to fill the void that his father left so no one else abandons me. I'm sorry. Being a fan of his for the last 14 years, which is even crazy to think about, it hit me really hard to hear the way that he ended this album, saying, so I see heaven after life. I want heaven when I die. I want to change. I want the pain no more. It's just when you hear him talk like that, and then you think back to Dawn FM, where you hear Jim Carrey say that you have to be heaven to see heaven. And then if you're an OG fan and you think back even further to House of Balloons, and you think about Heaven or Las Vegas, and you remember that he's saying stuff like, she says she wants heaven, I say I am God. If this really is the last album from The Weeknd, man, what a ride, what an amazing album, what an amazing ending to this album. Like other people have pointed out online, for that last song, Hurry Up Tomorrow, the way that it ends, it fades out and it perfectly loops with the very first song on his very first project, High for This. The Weeknd is just moving at a completely different level. I can't believe that I almost forgot to do this. I almost packed everything up, but whenever I do album reviews, I usually at the end, I give my 5 favorite songs from that album. On this one, this is really hard to do. If I had to pick my 5 favorite songs, I'm gonna have to go with Wake Me Up. I'm gonna have to go with Baptized in Fear. I'm gonna have to go with Enjoy the Show. I'm gonna have to go with Take Me Back to LA. And I'm gonna have to go with Hurry Up Tomorrow. This album came out in January, and I guarantee this is gonna be one of the best albums of the year. I'm gonna go ahead and call that now. Like I said, I've been a fan of The Weeknd for the last 14 years. He's played a big part of my life. This has been such an incredible journey. I just wanna say thank you to him. For his sake, I hope he's in a much better place mentally. I hope he's in a much better place spiritually. If this really is the ending of The Weeknd, he actually did it. He stuck the landing. The Weeknd could go away and retire for the rest of my life, and I feel like he doesn't owe me anything. It's been incredible just watching his growth over his career, and I never imagined the first time that I heard Wicked Games, which was the first song that I ever heard from him, that he would turn into this mega pop star. A few months ago, I made a video ranking all of the Weeknd albums from worst to best, and this album has only been out for a few days at this point. But we gonna need to have some conversations, because this album already is at least the top half. Like I've already been seeing online people having a conversation about which trilogy is better, this or the OG one. Honestly, I'm leaning towards this newer trilogy. Like I feel like After Hours and House of Balloons are both great bodies of work. They kind of cancel each other out. I feel like Hurry Up Tomorrow is better than Echoes of Silence and better than Thursday. I feel like Dawn FM can be better than Echoes of Silence depending on which day of the week you catch me, but I feel like Dawn FM is definitely better than Thursday. This man actually did it, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not the best guy at pointing out symbolisms and themes and coming up with theories and stuff like that. I can't wait to watch other YouTubers do more detailed breakdowns like that, especially with the visuals that he has coming out. Like I believe as I'm recording this, he dropped a music video for Red Terror, if my memory is correct. I just can't wait to see what this next chapter of his career looks like as Abel, but whatever he does, I'll be here. But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new here. We talk about a bunch of different things on this channel. What are your thoughts on this album? And which trilogy do you think is better? The original or the new one? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, follow me on social media on Twitter. Whenever these big albums come out, I like to live tweet my reactions as I'm going through them. And also be sure to check out my previous video where I rank the Weeknd albums from worst to best. I'm sorry, I know I'm asking a lot, but love you guys. As always, remember to tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, see you in the next life.